Hello YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. Now, it's been a while since I did a blog, and that's a given. And of course this hat screams irony. But anyway, for all those wrestling fans, I'll probably get the edge into what I'm just saying. So, okay. Best of all your future endeavors. So anyway, as you guys already are aware, so a couple of my friends already know, I'm getting the N64. Now, it's a specific color. Now, for those who already know, don't say anything, please. And for those who don't know, a little guessing game on what color N64 I'm going to get. Now, there was like a nice selection of colors they published later on that were transparent, and for a little bit guessing game, see what you guys can come up with which color. And I'm not going to say if you're right or wrong until you see the video with the console. It's just something fun to do. It isn't nothing major. But just see who can actually guess it right. Now I'll name off who guessed it right, and we'll just go woohoo! But yeah, can't wait to get that in the mail. Another thing, gonna touch base on gaming in general and preference of choice. Now, a lot of people here on YouTube all have a specific way they like to play games. Whether it being on an old school console like the Sega Genesis only, like some people just mainly like playing on Sega Genesis only, nothing else matters to them, and that's cool. You know, they like the classic feel to it, they like the controller, they like the library of games, over 300 so plus, still getting reproduction carts made, still getting all kinds of crazy things made for the console, pretty cool. Same with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the list goes on. And either way, I think it's pretty cool that people can go back, look at retro games, like myself, and enjoy them no matter what. On the other hand, for those folks who like playing those games and just playing the games without worrying too much out of pocket about the expense of just buying a console, buying a couple games that they actually like and sticking with that, they just go and download good ROM sets and all that and decide to play them on the computer. Again, it's a respectable commodity that, you know, most of these games that are published or were published back in Sega's Genesis days, obviously I'm not going to see any pocket change whatsoever towards the consumer, not the consumer, but the publisher slash developers. Exception to a couple games that get really popular under hit and people requested it over and over and over, and these companies went cha-ching and they released them on Virtual Console as well as the Xbox 360, as well as the Wii. Even though I said that Wii and Virtual Console, but you know, those little discs, the packs that come with there, and you have like a bunch of games on them, sort of like the Sega collection, but not quite. You guys know what I'm talking about, stuff like that. And either way, it's the fact that it's always preference of choice, how convenient it is for you. Now, again, when it came to consoles back in the day until now, it's always about a convenience more than a necessity. And a lot of people miss the point with gaming. It's about how you enjoy it, that's what's important, not how you were told it's important to play it. And some people just assume that, you know, hardware has to be the major way. I mean, I respect when people can't afford it or just can't be asked, they just want to play it on a computer. They just like the game so much, they don't want to, however, they don't want to spend like 13 to 15 or 25 bucks for a Sega Genesis on some thrift store or online. They just want to play the damn game. They have a controller, USB controller plugged in the computer. They just want to play the fucking game, you know, just get in there and go. And that's fine, you know. I don't bash people for doing that whatsoever. You know, it's interesting hearing people go, oh, I tried it out in the ROM and I liked it so much, I actually did buy Sega Genesis. And I actually heard people do that. They were all about playing on emulators. They got sick of it because they always had to switch out USB controllers, or they just didn't feel, they said it didn't feel right. And they would switch over to an actual Genesis and fuck it, I just bought, like, Sonic 1, you know. It was like $1, and I found this at a thrift store for $1. I just hooked it up to my TV and started playing it. And that's the cool thing about gaming. I mean, people just find what's comfortable for them as well as what's interesting for them. For myself, for example, I like playing games up and down. I don't have any restrictions of what I'll play it on. For example, it's sort of the Black Plague, so to speak, and for most people is the DD, or the digital download. Now, for me, I don't mind a digital download if it's affordable, convenient, and if the developer or the publisher is still behind the product, is still making the dollar, that's all fine. It's cheaper and affordable for me, it's cheaper and affordable for them just to put it on the store or wherever it's located, and I'll play it like that. However, when it comes to games like from the Sega Genesis, Nintendo, and all that, obviously, respectably enough, I'll try it on an emulator if I really can't get a hold of a cartridge or something of that nature, and I'll just try it that way. If I truly enjoy it, I'll go buy it. If it's something not really for me, I'll push it away. And I'll say, oh, it's alright, I just didn't like it too much. You know, that's how I usually try games, because back in the day, Genesis really did not have any demo discs of any sort. Not until later when you had those sampler CDs with the PlayStation and the Saturn, I believe. And again, it was just really hard for a gamer to have a chance to try these games, so nowadays people have to try through emulators to get that process boiling. I mean, again, like for example, when I was mentioning that digital download, I bought a couple games. Shantae, Risky's Revenge, because I saw a lot of gameplay for it. I heard a lot of praise for it. I heard it was actually very damn good. It was like sort of like a Castlevania game with little adventure elements added to it. It was actually, I'm playing it, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. The animations are really fun. I mean, it's just an overall very good game for the DSi/3DS. It costs $11.99, and I known that, you know, Way Forward got money for it, and that's cool. I mean, I can never really afford the Shantae for the GB Color or the Game Boy Color, so that's why I basically got Risky's Revenge. Granted, it's a little bit forward in the storyline, so I wouldn't truly understand it, but it's its own little storyline in between. So, I mean, it's good, the graphics are great, and I can't wait to beat the game. I mean, again, certain games I just don't care enough to, if it's like a retail game, to buy a box for it. Some people go, well, I like the box for some games. And here's the thing that boils in the back of my brain. Nowadays, most publishers, what they do is they put a little insert in there. We'll just use this as the insert. They usually put an insert inside the game cases. Yes, you'll have the content inside the case, the game itself, unless the game publishers themselves publish some patch later on in the future before they go thumbs under and say, here you go, if you want to play the game, DRM free, enjoy. Or what else, non-Steam exclusive free, go ahead, go nuts. Then that's cool. However, some people go, well, I'm going to buy a new retail game when most of these publishers use Steam as an outlet so you can store your game in a library. Yes, you'll have the physical box, but that box will become useless if, like you mentioned before, Steam goes tits up. So again, for me, it doesn't matter that way, because I'll just have a box that might be useless, like a Tombstone in the future. Yes, that game was fantastic or probably fun, but I'm not able to be able to play it anymore. That's my thing. And again, I can see that valid point if they just like to have it as a mantelpiece on, yeah, I got Assassin's Creed 2 there. Yes, it's on their Uplay server, but you know what? It was a good game. You know, it was pretty good. You know, I had some hookers distract some vanguards there, and I kick some serious ass. You know, stuff like that. That's what happens. I mean, most companies nowadays are thinking ahead that, okay, so we're just going to put these little inserts in here, so that way it makes it practically like a brick. It's nice to show in your collection, but it won't be useful if, like you were mentioning before, that it's not really gonna, well, I want the physical copy of this. Well, again, Steam goes tits up, like you mentioned, it's useless. I'm just repeating that a couple times, that way you grab the point. But, yeah, that's practically it. The same thing with PS3, 360. If a game is exclusive to DD only, and it's affordable enough, I'll grab it. It won't bother me. So that's practically how I play games. That's generally how I formulate it down to. Whatever's affordable, more convenient for me, I'll buy it that way. Just like Duke Nukem Forever, I am planning to totally play the game. I want the game when it's a little bit more cheaper. Because, multiplayer is nothing worthwhile. I just want to play the game, the single player anyway. So, when that game goes down in price, I'll get it for either the PS3, 360, or the PC, whatever's most affordable for me. That's just how it is. That has gigantic Martian alien boobies in there, so that's always the plus. So, drink from the Kool-Aid and take it from me. No. Enjoy what you're playing, because it's the fact that no one else is going to like what you're playing but yourself. I mean, for example, someone could probably be hugely enthusiastic about the Nintendo or the Genesis baseball games, but no one else will give a fuck less about it. They think it's just clutter in a collection or anything like that. But you guys grab the concept, enjoy what you play, because it's your collection, no one else's. Again, there's really no boundaries what you can do and enjoy in your life. With other people, if they try to be a boundary, ignore them. If they have a very bold opinion, they have to be that bold, that angry about it, then that's just their personality taking over themselves. And they, of course, have to respect that you're not going to like what they like, so you just got to ignore it. So, this is me, Dan Van Dam, from the DailyGameBad.com, as well as me sitting in my chair, rubbing my neck beard up. Oh, man. Saying, take it easy, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll be putting up more long-winded videos soon. Take care. And as for drinking from the Koolaide comment, there's going to be a dictator coming in here soon. I can tell it, because I'm drinking from this Koolaide. So, I'm going to prepare myself for the chafing. Take it easy, folks.